Hi, thank you for joining me on the Discover Your Life Today YouTube channel. My name is Maveen Kaura. I am from discoveryourlifetoday.com. Today I'm going to be talking about how not to be part of the most entitled generation. You can actually go over to my blog, discoveryourlifetoday.com/entitled generation, and you can actually read about this article in full detail. So what makes up the generation that feels entitled? So before I answer that, let's go through some additional stuff. So do you personally feel entitled or part of this entitled generation right now? Your answer might be yes. Your answer might say no. Most people, I think, will say no, they do not feel entitled to anything. That they just go out there, they're working very hard. But I'm going to kind of go through these things and make sure you understand how not to become entitled, really become humble and appreciate everything you do have. So let's go back a little bit and say, maybe you right now watching this video make up the baby boomer generation, and you gave birth to Generation Y. Perhaps you're the Generation X, and you're giving birth to Generation Z children right now. Could it be that you're a millennial who was born to Generation X or the baby boomers? Regardless of the generation you are born to, I believe everybody has people in their generation who feels entitled in some way. Now, before you get mad at me, please know that I'm also a part of an entitled generation as well. Heck, we all are. How can I say that, you ask? Easy. I believe every generation deserves a chance to create something for themselves. So in every way, in the essence of it, everybody in a generation feels entitled to becoming something and making something of themselves. Now, if you just look around you right now, 9 out of 10 conversations, that number is not scientific, I'm just throwing it out there. People are talking about money, advancements in career, lifestyle, cars, jewelry, big homes, expensive clothes, and how they spent their weekends. That's the type of things that people are talking about. You go on social media, look at the conversations that are happening at work. You'll see that these are the things that people are talking about. These are the things that people feel entitled to being able to do. And there's nothing wrong with wanting these things in life. Don't get me wrong. I want a lot of the same as well. But I feel we should work harder and smarter just to get all the things we want so we can make the next generation of people, their life, a lot easier. So what is entitlement, you ask? I believe entitlement is when someone has a belief that someone else owes them something for nothing. To me, entitlement is about ego. It's about your ego wanting to fulfill certain things and wanting certain things. So here's an example. You feel that you deserve to have everything and more, even though you don't put in as much time and effort as somebody else. That's entitlement. If you live in countries that are socialist or communist, everyone gets treated the same. In some way, everyone is entitled to the same things, if they're good or bad. So these are the 5 things I want you to really consider on how not to become part of the entitled generation. Keep in mind, before I give you these 5 things, I really just want you to understand there's a few other details I want you to know about these generations. Everyone in the generation has different characteristics, but overall everybody is the same. It doesn't matter if it's your parents or if it's you right now. There's a lot of similarities on what everybody wants. People want the same things that they wanted thousands of years ago, even when Maslow came up with this Maslow hierarchy of needs. That those are the same things people want today as people wanted hundreds and thousands of years ago. He was just the first person to maybe put that in writing and whatnot, but I'm sure other people thought of this as well. People from their own generations and people after their generations. Often people believe that, people are being spoiled and people are self-entitled, and it's the me generation. That's who people are being a part of. And right now you can see that with social media more and more, that people are becoming this me generation. It's all about them, it's all about them, but they're not considering other people and how other people are doing and faring in this world as well. But that's something what I want you to consider when we start talking about these 5 points. So point number 1 is about control. In every generation after World War II, we are told about a couple different things. Go to school, get a job, start a business, buy a home, maybe buy a car, and go out there and get a piece of the American dream before you die. And I don't care what country you live in. The word the American dream conjures up feelings of success and whatnot. And that's why you see people leaving their own countries to go to America or North America, and especially into the United States, and going out to the land of opportunity to do things. I myself am from Canada. I believe Canada is also the land of opportunity if you seek the opportunity and do something with it. Many people believe if you step on the backs of other people, that it's okay, it's justified, as long as you're getting your own. Because what they've made this is a dog-eat-dog world. And it's not like that, and I don't think it should be like that. And when you start getting to be like that, you feel like you have control and you should be able to control other people. And that's when the entitlement comes in. Sure, if you're an employee of a company, your boss does have control over you. Your boss tells you what time to be at work, how much money you're going to make, and even what type of opportunities you may or may not get as you continue to work. But that's a choice that you've made, is to work for somebody else. If you are your own boss, then you do have the ability to control that time and money for yourself. But a lot of times your business has control over you as you're getting started. So again, not to mention that also governments have control over you, and lawyers and banks and all these things have been put in place to control us. So the idea is not to just be part of this entitlement society, but to really understand that there's a lot of other factors in place that are out there, right? So I want you to go out there and be humble and not arrogant. Understand we all need each other to succeed in business or in our personal lives. When we help each other understand that we need each other, then we can go out there and not just be a part of the entitled generation singularly, but as a collective. Number 2, society. As you continue to read this article, you are more, or I guess listen to this article, not read it, you are more likely going to start to see that there's so many other social media platforms out there that we can start sharing things on and being on and being a part of. That's kind of what society has done. There's so many different platforms, different picture platforms, different music platforms, different blog platforms and whatnot. If you're not on social media, then you may want to ask yourself, why not, right? Or you may want to ask, well, how can I be on social media and take part in kind of what society is doing? Some people are listening to it and saying, I don't want to be a part of society. I don't want to be a part of that social media. I should go the other way compared to where the rest of society is going. And for you, that might be awesome. If you have a business, you might want to consider social media, because there's some great ways to get your name and your branding out there. Most people, including myself, I post on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and other platforms because I want my message to be reaching a wider audience out there. And this is why I post out there on these videos and whatnot. But I don't necessarily always post about my personal life. I do post on a couple things that I may go do hikes and whatnot, but I don't necessarily post my next, what I'm going to go do next, or what I'm having for dinner, or that I worked out and stuff like that. But why do we do this? Because I think we want other people in society to believe that we are important. We want other people to notice us and recognize our talents. This is why people like Justin Bieber can be found out there because of social media and because of YouTube. He was influencing thousands of people, and now is influencing millions of people, good or bad, like him or hate him, doesn't matter. But he used the power of society and social media to see what he could do and become for himself. And unfortunately, parts of him probably do feel entitled because of all the success he has. There's probably parts of him that are not entitled. With society still, you can go on Instagram and find hundreds and thousands and millions of pictures every single day that are being uploaded along with videos, and people want to start influencing other people. They start to believe that if they use that social media platform, that they can become insta-famous. The problem is that too many people are trying too hard to become insta-famous and are taking away from their own self-confidence by doing so, because they want other people's likes to be the reason they continue to do certain things, instead of just putting out a good message out there. Number 3, I don't want you to be feeling like you're part of the entitled generation. Here's why. It's government help. Now, these are a little bit older stats, but so I think they're still valuable stats to listen to. But did you know in January 2017, the unemployment rate in Canada was 6.8%, and the unemployment in the United States in 2016 of June was 4.9%. So that's not a very high percentage of people when you start looking at the actual numbers, but then you take that over the actual population, those numbers start looking very big. It comes into the millions of people. According to staticbrain.com, almost 68 million people in the United States were on welfare in 2016. I couldn't find any stats on Canada, but I'm sure if we took the percentage of the population, took the unemployment rate, you would see those numbers are probably in the millions as well. I believe the Canada population is only 36 million, so it's probably at least a million or 2 million people who are on welfare or taking advantage of some sort of government assistance. Now, they're sitting at home, they're collecting a paycheck from the government. These same people could be finding jobs. Instead, what they're doing is maybe doing under-the-table jobs and taking advantage of the system. They feel entitled, that they're getting something for free, and they want to continue to get something for free from the government, so they'll continue to maybe work under the table and get twice as much money by working that way. Now, that is not necessarily the best way to go about it. They're taking advantage of a system because a system was put in place to help people get on their feet and back on their feet so they could go out there and be a productive part of society. But they're taking advantage of what the government has in place. So just something to consider there. You don't need to feel entitled to what the government owes you. The government doesn't owe you anything. You don't owe the government anything as well. Unfortunately, the way the system has been set up is we owe the government everything. It's kind of like insurance. They take all their money and they spread it out, the wealth, so they can help a majority of the people. This is the system we live in. If you believe that this is a wrong system, then go out there and find a way to change that system or get people behind you. Number 4 is work harder than others. That's one way you cannot be part of the entitled generation. A lot of people that are feeling entitled feel they don't need to work hard anymore, that they can just work and they're going to get their raises and they're going to get their, fancy car, fancy home, because these are things that they should be having versus working hard for. That they feel that they can step on anybody's back and they can take advantage of other people and still get where they need to be. Countless people right now are doing these things, but there's also countless stories of people who work hard, go to night school, get the required education, and make it to the top of the business world to influence other people all around them. They went after the American dream, and that's right, they became someone and they took advantage of a system that allows equal opportunity. I believe a lot of people are doing this and can be a part of this system if they take advantage of all the great things that they have, but you have to work harder than other people. If you just kind of are working status quo, you'll only ever be status quo. So don't feel entitled that people have to give you something because you're doing nothing. You should only feel entitled when you work hard and get what you want, and then you should feel happy that you actually attained it. Number 5. Education. In many parts of the world, education is something that people are not entitled to. Look around, there's a lot of geopolitical things happening around the world. Many times they were saying that women should not be educated in many of these countries, and people still believe that. But there are women who are getting out there and fighting this oppression and are educating themselves and helping educate other women as well. So they are, taking this entitlement from men away from them, and entitling themselves to continue to learn and whatnot. We all know this is unfortunate. There's a lot of people going through this, but did you know that you can make a change? You can help other people. You don't have to feel entitled that because you're in a first world country that you don't have to help people in a third world country, but you can. You don't have to believe that you're the only person that can do these things. Other people can as well. If you give them the opportunity to, you can find great people to network with when you do these things. Do not get to the age of 50 and become that student that's still in school and that's been in school for 30 years working on their 10th degree because they don't know what to do with themselves. Go out there, go find a way to empower yourself and be a productive part of society, and don't feel that you are owed anything by society as well, right? So go out there and don't be a part of this entitled generation, because we're not entitled to anything. We're not really even entitled to the next moment. Our next breath is not really given to us. It really is a benefit that we have, that we can continue to breathe. Because I could literally just fall over right now as I'm making this video, or you watching this video, and we should not be taking these things for granted. So don't feel entitled. Go out and create things for yourself and your family. If you enjoyed this video, go check out my discoveryourlifetoday.com blog. Please subscribe, like this video, share this with other people. Really help spread this message. Other than that, I hope you really have yourself a great day. Don't be entitled, and just go out and do the things where you can help your own family create the things that it needs to do so you can have your dreams come true.